Looks like I'm living rent-free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Alright, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy, yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, take your pick. I'm opening your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy, it's what you mean. While you chase the crust and I take the lead. Living rent-free, that's my name. Go ahead, say it, put some respect on your name. Man, I'm too old, well here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no insight, no repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right. Spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you've got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. What's behind? Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. You're trying to figure out your own identity. Can't you see? Yeah, keep it up. Keep trying, but you'll be stuck with Daddy for life. I'm Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, owning your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Man, oh man. Yes, my internet is actually still down, believe it or not. I'm using a backbone system to sort of get in there where I normally wouldn't, but that's why it might look a little funky tonight. Oh, thank you, Audrey Littles. As always, happy to support the Truth Tellers. Thank you so much, and welcome to being here for 9 months. It's almost birthday time for you, isn't it? Welcome to the shit show.
Welcome to the shit show.
Oh yes, every single day it's a new flavor of thuggery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're good than a bag of rocks. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and 4 more days of greasy, stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balderdash, poppycock, bollocks, and buggery. Man, what a day. The amount of insanity that we've seen come out is insane. Good to see you, Harley Munchie. Good to see you. Not fragile like a flower, fragile like a bomb. I saw also Harley Thumper coming in. Good to see you, Sue Scott. See you, Kathleen. To Sherry Nail, everybody that I missed. Dan Davis, Thumper Harley. That's awesome. I love it. Hey, D, how you doing? Colleen, Starzy, yes. Brief hello and good night. Worked 10 hours and another 10 hours a day for the next 5 days. Yeah, that was about like what my day was. Yeah, unfortunately, because my internet is not fixed. My internet is not fixed. It is still a little messed up, but I'm hoping that this works for tonight. So it'll be, if it crashes out, it's just because my data plan said no more. We'll see. Heading early from Tug? Well, no, I mean, Tug's got some good stuff tonight, I'm sure. I mean, it is crazy. Got your ice cream, you're ready? Well, awesome. Good to see you, Marcy Collins, Doreen, Stephen Bear, Tom N, Serrano. Good evening, Mama Cuddles, Debbie Webb. Hi, Shizzy. We'll be listening to Cat got out and has never been out of the zone before. Be just fine. Be just fine. Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to cover today. If I can get to both of them, that'll be awesome. But this is going to be absolutely insane. Okay. Just so you know, full disclaimer, my internet may crap out on me, but if it does, I'll be right back at it. So we'll give this a try, see how it works. My computer's screaming at me right now saying, man, you're putting a lot of work on me. All right. This one right here was something that Lynette posted today. Now I caught it a little bit later on. Max also told me what was up with this. Thank you, Max, very much. Said, oh my gosh, have you seen this? This is, and I joke not, this is 6 pages of uninterrupted wow. So get it. This message goes out to Lisa's fans. I don't understand at all why she's doing this, but I have a few things I need to say. Number one, it's a lie. Wow. When you're told I'm not appreciative of everything that's been done for us, I've said it over and over and over and over, and I'll say it again. I am blessed by what you all have done. She's blessed. I'm blessed by Lisa putting this stuff together, but what she did, and I'm grateful, and I'm thankful for that. Next, it's being said that this whole permit thing was my fault. Well, yeah. Yeah, definitely, Max. Thank you so much. You were the bomb diggity. No, it wasn't. I know. I now have been to permitting. Okay. I now have paperwork to show when it expired, what steps they were taking. And Lisa had to get someone in there to frame it. It was her task. Oh, so you're like the little task manager now, huh? Oh, well, that not according to her. She was saying it was you that was supposed to be doing this. It was all your fault, Lynette. Well, that's what she's been saying. What steps are we taking? Then Lisa had to get someone in there to frame it. It was her task. If it wasn't her task, why did she have her islander friend? Islander friend? I mean, someone that lives on land? I guess, so having someone that lives in a boat might have been a little bit easier. Good evening, Texas. Jules, good to see you. Marcy, Dangerous Wave sending out healing prayers. Oh, okay. So get the blueprints, look them over, only unfortunately to bring them back and tell us he couldn't do it again. Couldn't do what again? He couldn't do what again? What, look over the blueprints? Well, so John, he found a crew to do it. Yeah, we know about the Mexican crew. Would have had it done, but Lisa said no to the 10,000. It was too much money. 10,000. I mean, we're talking 10 grand to come in and frame the whole thing out. And Lisa's telling her, no, it's too much money. It's your money, Lynette. It's your money. And she's telling you no. What, is she a subcontractor now? I thought she was like some dancing queen or something like that. No, maybe that's her husband, her boyfriend, or whatever he is to her. I mean, I thought she was the one that was all, putting all this stuff together, but then she's not putting it together. So which one is it? Because she's saying she didn't do any of this stuff. This was all on you, Lynette. She said she had it covered. Just don't worry. So we didn't. So you basically are shirking responsibility again? Is that what it is? You're saying, no, I'm not responsible. I'm not a responsible person. It's not my fault. My cat died. My cat didn't die. She said she had it covered, so don't worry, we didn't. Oh, and it got closer and closer to March. I begged her, and I begged her, and I begged her, and I begged her, please, 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 let's get it done. Something needs to happen. Well, no, you weren't. No, there was no begging. Hey, Stephen and Born, how you doing? There was no begging. Can't wait for this shit show. Stacy B. No, no. I begged her, please, let's get it done. Something needs to happen. We don't have any proof of that. See, all of this stuff, there's no proof in there. So I talked to a construction company, Sick Construction in Chiefland, that was going to be too much money for them to take over the project, but he offered out of kindness for a fee of $250 an hour to be our consultant. What? To be your consultant? Why? Why would he be a consultant? Do you understand what is a consultant? Is this the same kind of consultant that you hired to write your legal briefs? Because, man, these guys are idiots. Then he would help whoever we found to volunteer to do whatever needed to be done again. Volunteer to do whatever needed to be done again? What needed to be done? Here's the thing that always amazes me. It really amazes me. No responsibility and no direction whatsoever. You are about as mindless as a dumbass I've ever seen. Someone that cannot figure out what in the hell is going on in their own life. And you're trying to raise a child, but you have no idea any of the simplest concepts of anything until it comes time to do a filing. Oh, wow. Lisa said no, she had somebody do it and would do it again. Well, I begged and begged and begged with no response. You do a lot of begging from Lisa at all. Our permit expired if you don't fulfill the tests that needed to be done. The permit expires. If you want to know more about this, either Google it. Google it? Why would anybody Google it? Or call Bo at Levy County Permitting. Call Bo. Levy County Permitting. I'm sure he'll explain it. I went to Levy County crying. I was bawling my eyes out. It was a woe is me. Well, see, this is the problem whenever you got all this gobbledygook. You can't understand a damn thing that she's talking about. I mean, she's saying, you want to know more about this? Either Google it or call Bo at Levy County Permitting. I'm sure he'll explain it. Why does he have to explain it? How about this? Take responsibility for your own actions. That way nobody has to explain shit to anybody. You've got the documentation, you got the proof, you got the receipts. You can say, this is how much money came in. Right now, Lynette, from everything that I've been able to gather on all of this, the amount of money that was raised by Dave the donor, the amount of money that was double anything that he could do. I mean, he was just cranking out the money, but according to Fleesa, what she's saying, oh, no. The individuals that were donating to this was even more than what Dave the donor did. You're looking at over $110,000. Well over $110,000 that were raised, and they didn't stop fundraising because that was just for the barn. That didn't include the fundraising that went for the fence, went for all of the Harley Jolly Christmas thing. It was for every single thing that they were doing. You are probably pushing close to $200,000 that these people grifted off of. And I covered something not too long ago about this. Same thing happened. This couple did a woe is me. Woe is me. And guess what? Guess what happened in that case, Lynette? Just think about this for a second, Lynette. What happened in that case? In that case, he was smart enough to actually go to the police and say, these people have stolen money from me. And come to find out, after all the cards got thrown down, come to find out he was in on the scam. So he got in a little bit of trouble. But not as bad as the trouble they got in, because they had to pay all of that money back, plus they got prison time. You realize that they ran a similar scam, except they did it unlike this other couple that used GoFundMe to do it. Those people were able to recoup their money. So you just told all these people you're expecting to donate more money to help you out to go screw yourself, because GoFundMe ain't going to fund them back. Do you think it's going to be harsher on them, or not? Do you think that what's going to happen to them is going to be 10 times harsher with the scam that they've been playing, and we're talking about in the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've blown on who knows what, probably upgrading their computers and phones and cars, and who knows what they've been doing. I mean, we know what happened in this other case, still trying to figure out what is costing her so much. Well, had a 14 by 80 mobile home for $100. You just have to look around for a while. Yeah, there's lots of things that you can do. Maybe not with the 10 gifted memberships. And by the way, gifted memberships help out so many people right here. And it is absolutely wonderful. Maybe not. You are absolutely wonderful. This is for you and a foot.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day,
A new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of twats. Prove it.
Monday,
Yes.
Tuesday,
Wednesday. Yes, every day.
And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid predicament.
Ignorant, balderdash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. That gets the music lesson, man. Look at the show you, Marla. Yeah, so all of this is being done. The amount of money that they're spending, and defending and trying to raise more money. And they didn't stop there. Oh, no. They also raised money under Bone Crusher's name, Harley's name. They've done it for everyone. Anytime that they're seeing a chance to do some sort of fundraising, they're throwing out their hand. Me, I don't have to beg for that stuff. If you guys like the show, you can reach down there, hit the thumbs up. You can subscribe. You don't even have to become a member if you don't want to. If you want to become a member, that helps put food on the table and puts a new computer card in my damn computer. Probably pays for my data plan too, but it's up to you. It is entirely up to you. I am not forcing you. If you like the entertainment, then you fund the entertainment. That's what keeps me on the air. That's what keeps me going. Dan Davis loves the cougar. Oh, nice. My son just looks at me and shakes his head and laughs whenever I sing the song, and I sing it a lot. Well, you have to. They were all involved in the decision. Against my proof, the board decided. What board? The board of Bronson? What board? So you're saying that you've got proof they were all involved in the decision. Again, my proof, the board decided they would give us one chance to throw us a lifeline. That's what was said. Show the receipts. The lifeline was Levy County would give us our permit back for free, but I had to hire an engineer and architect to do our inspections. An engineer and architect do your inspections. You know, here's the thing. This is, I don't know how it is in Florida, but here in Florida, they have these things called licensed general contractors. Licensed general contractor, you pay them to do all of that. They come out, they handle all that stuff. They make sure that your permitting is taken care of. They make sure that they've got the people in the right place. They make sure that the material is there. There's no second guessing. There's no nickel and diming. They come out, they tell you what the price is. And they get the permits, they get the contractors, and make sure if there has to be an engineer that they have the engineer there. These are all things so you don't have to worry about it. Is Lisa Lee telling you that she's now one of these general contractors, or maybe her criminal husband? Well, which one is it? Are these people lying to you, or are you lying to us? Did you lie then, or are you lying now? You haven't figured this out. The lifeline was Levy County. They give us our permit back for free, but we had to hire an engineer. They were no longer going to be responsible for it, so they gave you a list of about 20 people. I went through the list. They give you a list of 20 people, and you only found one person. His name was Michael, and he agreed to do it. His fee is $2,500. That's pretty damn inexpensive. And more than likely, it would have been a contractor that would come out and do that. Bootleg contractors before, but you're taking a hoob. Yeah. I mean, it's. But here's the thing: if you don't know anything, which she clearly doesn't, because she runs out of time, she doesn't know how to handle her money well. That's been pretty obvious. So you basically pay someone else to handle all this stuff for you. Yeah, it's a huge risk, but You do what you got to do, and then you can sue the contractor if they screw the stuff up. You're right. But the whole west coast of Florida is so backed up from Hurricane Helene. But it wasn't at the time. It wasn't at the time that they were supposed to be getting all this stuff done. There wasn't a hurricane happening. They just started raising money afterwards. And you can still, they gave them 20 people that they could talk to, and they only decided one. Maybe because their name was something special, like maybe they had 4 names or something. He said we could pay him half down the rest of the time of inspection or closing on the project. Yeah, that's about reasonable. I gave his name and number to Felisa. Why would you give her the name and number to Felisa? Why? Why don't you handle this yourself? No responsibility yet again. She did call Mr. White. She got his voicemail. Mr. White then called Felicia back and got her voicemail, and I never heard another word from her. Well, it's your job to follow up on it. That's all your job. It's not his job to chase her down. Well, no, it's your job to chase her down. It's your job to maybe put them through on a phone call together. It would have been her job to get a hold of him. So, oh no, it wouldn't have not been her job. Her job is holding your money. Her job is to spend your money that you grifted for, that she grifted for you. It is her job to hold your money. That is what her job is. And she's not even doing a good job of that. Get a hold of him so she could pay him. I begged and begged and begged. You're doing a lot of begging. I'm surprised that your knee pads aren't worn out from all the begging that you've been doing for her to please pay Mr. White. I have proof she didn't do it. Obviously, our permit expired. Well, okay, what proof do you have? All right, you're saying you got proof. Nobody's seen any proof. I mean, you're throwing up there what you're filing to the court, but you're not showing any proof. You know, here's the thing about proof. You know, you have signed documents. You know, they're actually signed and certified and notarized and all that neat kind of stuff. That's proof. You know, just throwing up some piece of paper with a letterhead on it that looks like it was fake. I mean, how many times did Felisa show up something that looks absolutely fake? Something that I don't think anybody in a medical field would be throwing out there. But you notice how those come and go really damn quick. Our permit expired. It was going to stay expired because she didn't do what was necessary to accept the gracious gift that was last lifeline to keep our permit open in Levy County. That's the truth. I've told it. I said it, and I'm standing on it. Well, yeah, you're standing on her, right? Standing on pile of guano. I have Michael, the architect, as my witness. I have Mr. Bowe at Levy County. I have the Bronson board, and I have proof Lisa obviously bit off more than she could chew. I doubt she has ever bit off more than she can chew. Trust me. I think that we've heard her chewing on streams, and it sounds like a 90-year-old woman that's sucking on bones is what it sounds like. It just sounds like if you've never seen somebody that it's like they have that constant like tang of grease all over their fingers, and they're just licking their fingers and they're all just slurping. That's what it sounds like 90% of the time. That's what it sounds like most of the time, is that she is sucking on some like pork rinds or something, just gobbling those things down. Now, don't get me wrong, I like me some good pork rinds. I just don't need them on stream. I mean, she sounds like she's just digging in. I mean, if somebody told me there was a butthole right in front of her face, I'd swear to God she'd have that thing cleaned out. And I wish you would have just said, "Oh, I can't find anybody," but you said you already found somebody. And we could have figured it out. Instead, she decided to do the same thing that Shar did. What did Shar do? What did Shar do to you? What did Shar do to you? Who broke you? Who broke you, Lynette? Who broke you? Was it the pole dancing that broke that hip? I don't know. I don't think that's what the problem was. And that the stalker doing, throw me under the bus. Nobody's throwing you under the bus except for Felisa. Felisa's the one throwing you under the bus. The stalk. Who's this stalker? Is this something new? Because from what I can tell, the person that I believe you're trying to call the stalker, being Jeremy, he's filming to protect himself. See, you deal with idiots like this. Is you have to film everything, because you try to get into a he said, she said, and they will make up the most wildest, outrageous stories. And they've been doing it so much because you look at this like, I'm a normal human being. I think we could have a normal conversation. If someone takes a swing at me and hits me, and I take a swing back, I can't get in trouble for it because it is self-defense, or you walk away. But these are the kind of people that say, I didn't do anything. He took the swing at me first. Because they can't handle, her standing in the truth. She has not stood in any truth ever. So I take very little of what she says here as being true. East Texas Cowboy, good to see all of you too, man. Do the same thing that Shara did. What did Shara do? What did Shara do? Shara exposed you for the BS that you were pulling, and she walked away. She was just like, that's not what I said. That's not what I did. But see, she has proof too, and not only does she have proof, from what I understand, she's going to have Jamie Starr Johnson on to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on. How scared do you think Lynette is getting on about that? Do you think that's maybe why she's getting on here? Has to change the narrative a little bit. Oh, belittle me, humiliate me, and talk garbage about me. No, you've done enough on your own. You've done enough garbage talking on your own. Trust me, you've done enough. We're only into page 3, and this still is going on. I have said the truth of what happened with the permit. Permit? It's the truth, and that's what it is. Next thing that needs to be addressed is the discrepancies in the amount of money that was donated and collected. Well, discrepancies? She's standing in a manure pie. Yeah, that is exactly right, brother. I'm telling you, it's like, what truth do you have? See, here's the thing about truth. And as much as, I'm sure there's some of you folks that don't like Jeremy and don't have a whole lot of love for him. But I'll tell you what, he's brought proof every damn time. Every damn time he's been bringing proof. So what is she bringing? Every time I look at this stuff, she brings no receipts. Whenever you don't see the receipts, you can go, that's not true. But then whenever you see the receipts, you go, oh, actually, that was true. And then you've got verification on it. See, this is why nobody believes how much money Fleesa says that she's been raising. Because she doesn't show the proof. If she wanted people to know the truth about it, she would just open it up and say, this is how much it is. This is where it was spent. She would have a whole spreadsheet of every single thing that came in and went out and exactly where it went. And then have the receipts to prove that that's where it went to. Not just saying, well, it went to this and this is what we spent it on. And you saw how fast the story changed about the fence panels. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got the cheapest freaking fence panels that they possibly could. Now they're saying, oh, no, they were the highest ones that you could possibly get. They were like 4 steps up from there. 4 steps up from garbage, they doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's the same damn fence panels. If you go up any steps, then they have actually privacy fences, which have extra boards in there. Those didn't. Those were very base model. Very base model. And no, they weren't that expensive. I priced those things out, and you're lucky if you spent $3,000, $5,000. I think is what it ended up being. Like everything totaled up was like about $5,000 is what you spent. But you told all those people, oh no, that was 4 times that amount. 4 steps up. Think about it. What would be 4 times $5,000? That'd be 20 grand. Interesting, isn't it? How that money just disappears. The toilets were the cheapest Lowe's sells. Oh no, man, those were gold plated. Tug Raid, welcome Tug Raiders. Good to see you. Good to see you. You know, her benefits like Social Security, SSDI, the food stamps she gets affected by the donations. Well, but that was why. That was the excuse that somebody was giving her. It was like, well, it'll affect your SSI, or maybe she was just willingly saying, well, it'll affect my SSI. But see, now she doesn't have that cushion, because somebody said, you know what, this is some pretty sweet money. She doesn't know how much money is coming in. Hell, nobody knows how much money is coming in. She's already said, well, that money wasn't going to her. That was coming to me to do with what I was going to do with it. They were supporting me to help her. See how the story shifts? Project Source Brand, 109 each. No, not at the time. We actually sat here and priced them out there, something like $40 each. Yeah. They were like $40 each. And they didn't get that many panels. Had to replace your upstairs toilet and labor, and the toilet was $600. Yeah, but you can still get a toilet for about 120. Yeah, I mean, it's not expensive, and especially, you know, a toilet they'll probably never use because they haven't installed it, because you have to stub out everything inside the damn building. You actually have to install the plumbing. It's weird how that works. You can't just set it on the floor and hope that it does something. You know, there's so much work that needs to be done. You had to replace your upstairs toilet and labor. Yeah, about 600. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get Shizzy to 10K. Yeah, if it gets 10K, I'll have to do a wonderful long thing. It's a shitty topic. Yeah, it is. We were never told how much money was collected. We were not told the donators. We were not told anything. Why? We were kept in the dark about it. Well, because what did I just say? Why were you not told about the donators? Why were you kept in the dark about it? Because you couldn't keep your cake hole shut. It would just keep flapping. You would still be talking about it, because the plan was to throw you under the bus in the first place. That's what it's been the whole time. You were just the latest grift. Because, see, they grift. The only way that the grift worked for them, because all of their other stuff, they couldn't get any followers. But once they started doing the Jeremy Hale stuff, that got some traction. And why were they doing the Jeremy Hale stuff? Oh, well, it wasn't about you, Michelle. That's not why they covered that at all. Had nothing to do with you. It's not like there was an attorney that was out there like telling them, oh, well, you know, we've got this nice PR team and you can come over here and all you got to do is tell our side of the story. There is no our side of the story. There's only two sides to any story on this. It's just stupid. Still playing the victim card, trying to grift more money. Why were you kept in the dark? Next thing is Lisa is now doing exactly what Shara did. What did Shara do? And what the other side is doing, making up lies, saying it's true and making us all hate us, making you all hate us. Nobody has to hate like that. I would prefer people don't hate you at all. I mean, they might hold you accountable for your actions. If that's hate, then, well, shit, you should have maybe gotten that a long freaking time ago. Me and me, when I'm the one telling the truth, there's no reason why I cannot be given money. Yeah, there's plenty of reason why you can be given money. Yeah, there's plenty of money. There's plenty of reasons why you can be given money. It's called work. You know, you get up in the morning and you work from the time that you wake up, time that you sleep. That's how you get ahead in life. But see, you've never been able to do that, because what did you do? You stripped easy money and you blew through it. What else did you do? You got married to somebody that would support you, ran right through it. How many times did you file bankruptcy? How many times have you grifted off of it looking for the easy way to make money? Every single thing that you do, Lynette, is a way to make easy money with very little effort. And now you're getting called out on it. Now you're getting called out on it. You're getting caught. You're getting busted. And people have stood up and they started to notice, and they're saying, no, this isn't right. I'm not donating to you not getting up and doing anything. If it's going to be a home, you wouldn't want that hidden instead of piping running throughout the home. Depends on how you stub it out. That's part of the process of putting these things together in the first place. I mean, there's a lot that goes into building a home. And I'm not going to go into the details out, but there's a lot of work that goes into building a home. A lot. You have to understand, to build a house, and we're talking about if you've got the location and you've got the money to do it, is not cheap, because you've got every single thing from the ground up has to be planned out, thought out, and done. It's not like you just throw a cement slab down and you throw a building on top of it. That's not how it works. It'll end up in failure every single time, because you'll forget something, you'll leave something out. I mean, you've seen somebody build a house before. I would assume, just go on to any construction site. Whenever they lay that foundation, you'll see pipes sticking up through the floor. The reason that those pipes are sticking up through the floor is because they know that's all of their plans were put together. This is where the bathroom's going to be. This is where the kitchen is going to be. This is where electrical needs to run. It's all done prior to that. A residential slab is different than one for a barn. But if you're going to turn it into a residential, if that's your plan in the first place, because that's what they've been saying, that it was supposed to be a residential building in the first place, they were putting it together to make a house. Like I said, they have not thought this thing through. They don't think about things. They just react. The reason I can't be given money, or why I can't collect money, as long as I turn that money into these donations and until SSI and SSSDY and being donated, that's why being collected. I can collect it. But you don't need to give it to me. You can give it to John next. I mean, the same John that you owe money to? He's on your list of creditors, you dimwit. I heard Lisa saying that she knows that the RV situation is true because she knows who owns it. That person wished to remain anonymous for very good reason. Look at everything that's happened, so at least you know it's true. There's an RV that's being held for us. Well, hopefully they're not holding it too tight. What happened? Oh, okay, I know what that is. It's for Harley and I to live in. No, it's for you. It's for you. It's as simple as that. This is for you, Lynette. This is something for you. Because I've failed to see how much you actually really care for this child, because we've seen the situation that you're living in. It's time for me to cook dinner for me and John and Harley, like you're some big happy family, where you've already been shown posting how disturbing the things are and the abuse that you get from John. So I don't know why you'd want to be cooking dinner for him. And Lisa, stop lying to say that I'm going to leave in it, and that's a lie. Well, if it's not a lie, then why haven't you completed the barn? Why do you need to have an RV? Complete your damn barn. Spend the money on that. How about stop spending money on all this jewelry and all of these other things? Start selling some of this stuff. Maybe you can raise that money, and you won't have all the nice little conveniences of that wonderful outhouse. And I'm standing on this property until my house is done, and I can't live in my house. I bought this property for my daughter. No, you didn't. You bought this property for you. You bought this property for you. You bought this property. There was no reason to buy this property. You had a perfectly fine, functioning house. in Northport and you left. Why? Why did you leave? Because you found some property close to this YouTube streamer that you looked at and you went, cha-ching. Jeez. I'm not going anywhere. I never have run away from a fight in my life. I'm not going to start now. Really? You're not going to start now? Really? I find that hard to believe. You've been running your entire life. Every single place. When you ran from Northport, shit was getting hot and heavy there. You ran from Iowa, Germany. How many places have you run from, Lynette? How many places have you run from? Like, seriously, every single marriage that you've been in, you ran from that. It's always somebody else's fault. This whole woe is me. Woe is me. It's nobody but my fault. I'm just so downtrodden upon. I can't take responsibility for myself, because in doing so, I'd have to admit that there was a problem with my own screwed up life. Northport, Jesus, every single place you have run from. I don't know why she's feeling I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I don't know why she's feeling I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I have no idea on what's really happening and why this is happening. What? Are you have no idea why this is happening? But I keep my opinions to myself. I have not done anything wrong. I have not done anything to the other side. You have not done anything to the other side. The other side of what? You haven't done anything to the other side of what? See, these are disambiguous claims that mean absolutely nothing. You've gone from saying that I've reached out to these people, not showing any proof. I've done this, not showing any proof. You say that I've not done this, not showing any proof. It is a woe is me. A woe is me. Everything's about Lynette. Lynette, I've got to raise more money. Yeah, I mean, how many times have you heard this sob story? I mean, the sob story just continues on and on and on and on. You're not held accountable. But see, that's the thing, is after all of your bullshit of you getting away with crap against people that had been too scared or not been able to afford it, they back down. And they back down every single time because they're like, I'm just going to be the better man. I've got better things to do with my life. But somebody said, she's got a history of doing this. And she's done it to me. She's going to do it to somebody else. And she's going to continue doing this. And I'm putting a stop to it. And now you call that person a stalker. Now you call that person all kinds of names. You've called him a child predator. You've called him all kinds of horrible things. Yet you've still not taken any responsibility for your actions, Michelle. Not once. Not once. I didn't want the name off of Harley Jolly Christmas again. Another lie, you guys out there have been on my side. I would think that you would know me better. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you better than you. Nobody understands half the crap that you're spewing. If they do, they might just be as psychotic as you. I would think that you would know me better by now, and what I've been said is wrong. I want you to really think about what's happening. I think Lisa bit off more than she could chew, and she's never bit off more than she could chew. And this is how she's handled it. It's so fat, it's a shame, and it's horrible. I'm asking God to help me forgive. You don't ever need to ask God to help you forgive. That's either you forgive or you don't forgive. You don't have to ask anybody to do that. You either do it or you don't. And clearly you didn't, because you've just thrown her under the bus 9 ways to Sunday, and she's throwing you back under another bus. It's like a cat fight watching you two spur this thing out. Neither one of you is doing the other any good. I'm trying very hard, but it's very hard being as somebody that I actually loved and cared about. Lynette, you've never loved and cared about anybody but yourself, ever. Because it's a woe is me. If it wasn't a woe is me, then you'd be just like, I need to get my head out of my ass and get my shit together and move on with my life. But see, right now, you're in such a pickle that you can't even do that. You've gotten yourself in such a pickle, so twisted, so messed up, that you're not even able to handle what the truth is. But it's very hard being as somebody I actually love to care about. Somebody I thought could be a lifetime friend with. You have been on the other side, my side. All you need to do is message me. All you need to do is ask me. I will talk to you, and I will tell you my side. Do you really believe it's fair to have someone accuse me of something you naturally believe it's true without me giving you a chance to defend myself, explain my side of what really how things are supposed to go? Work you finding on the other side of the stalker for doing the exact same thing? Oh my God. It's all one damn word. It's like no breath in here. She is spiraled out of control. That's where my, you click on the part and keyboard when the load says half and click and then the page and simple zombie phrase. The delusion is thick. Everyone get down, crawl towards the door. Just looking at Florida residential building codes, I'll bet dollars to donuts that slab wasn't permitted. That means that the barn will never be a home. That slab alone would cost $15K. Don't know. It's not my problem. All I know, that hurts your brain. Trust me. Yes, it hurts my brain too. Okay, I'll tell you my side, but here's the thing, stupid. Nobody should be reaching out to her. Nobody should be communicating with her. That'd be third-party communication. She's allowed to reach out to other people, tell her side of the story. Think that there's still an offer out there from Megan and Tug. She can come out and tell what's going on with all of this. But there's some strict guidelines behind that. Because if I'm not mistaken, you can't be talking about Jeremy. That'd be third-party communication. And he would probably be pretty damn respectful for you. But you ain't taking him up on that shit. No. Why won't you take him up on it? Because I think you're scared. I think you're scared of what questions he's going to ask. You're scared shitless. You back down from a fight every single time. Because if there was any fight left in you, you would take him up on it and sit there and say, this is what's going on. This is how much money I know for a fact was raised. This is how it was done. Here is the proof. Do you have proof of that in a text message? Do you have proof of that anywhere at all whatsoever? Because it sounds to me like you're just making shit up. But see, that's the problem she's going to have, is being able to bring that stuff up. And I mean, you got a valid case to go after these people for stealing your money. And if my calculations are correct, which I could even still be low, this is just what I've been able to put together. It's pushing close. And initially I was thinking, oh, there was probably about 56K raised here. And then there was probably over a period of time enough to maybe hit 100. Oh, no. No, I would not be surprised if they didn't, if this year alone, this past year alone, that they topped that thing well over 200, well in excess of that. And you have to understand, they got a couple of mouths to feed, you know, but it's Lynette's money, and hell, it ain't hers. That's according to the flea. The flea's telling them, no, 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 no. This is my money. You guys raise this money and you send it to me for me to do with it to help out. And if I'm not going to help out because she is a piece of shit, then she don't get nothing for it. That's what she said. Ha. Believe it's true without giving me a chance to defend myself or explain my side. Is that really how things are supposed to work? You're fighting the other side, the stalker. The stalker is doing nothing to you. Who is this stalker? If you're saying Jeremy is your stalker, sorry, sweetheart, you got it wrong. You are the one that has a restraining order against him. It's not the other way around. Oh, Jesus. We're doing the exact same thing, but it's not. It's okay because I love Lisa. It's not okay. What is it okay or is it not okay? What is it that's okay? It's okay because I love you, Lisa. It's not okay. None of this is okay for anyone. I need the RV to give stability to my daughter. Get on your RV. Fuck this RV. Get your building fixed and finished. Get your building fixed and finished. Hell, you're looking at a multi-million-dollar lawsuit staring down your neck. On top of that, you and I saw today, maybe it came in yesterday, that he finally got service on everybody. Rasputin or whatever his name is, finally got a damn big chunk of cash blowing in over there for her. Oh yeah, he's set that thing up. He set it up. He said, "Oh no, I've served everyone, but now they got to have a meeting yet again. No excuses. They got to have a meeting of the creditors if this is going to happen. Oh, wait, that's right. They can't do that until they have a hearing just to decide if you're going to be able to continue on with this lawsuit. And then it's going to be up to the judge to decide if they're going to continue with the bankruptcy. The judge is going to decide whether this bankruptcy is going to continue or not. Jeremy wants it to continue because he wants to get into the financials and get all the information that you haven't been able to give him. He's very, very interested in getting this bankruptcy under power. Let's go. Let's get it done. I doubt that Randy's even going to object. He's going to be like, let's go. Let's make it happen. Because that's whenever it's all going to start to come out. You're going to start seeing how much money was spent, how much money was raised. Maybe that's why Lisa wants to separate herself from her so bad. No, I have nothing to do with this. That money was raised for me. Oh, really? Really? Was it really raised for you? Because, see, they have the proof of words that came out of your mouth and how that money was raised. They have the words that came out of the flea's mouth of how much money was, how they were raising money for that whole bankruptcy. It wasn't for the bankruptcy. It was for something else entirely. It was for an attorney that was going to handle the thumbnail case, according to Bruce, was going to handle every single individual case. So it makes me wonder, whenever I saw her, because it hasn't been filed yet, it's just what she showed on Facebook. Don't worry, I pay $40 for cricket. Yeah. I mean, I have to cut where I spent money at. I can't just go willy-nilly. Hell, my video card was unfortunate that I have to get this thing, but you can't hear it, but I can hear my computer screaming right now because just doing this stream right here, it's getting hot. I pay for the Jeep. I pay for the shed. I pay for all the big bills. I buy groceries. Sweetheart, this is what's called life. We all do that. I was paying for the camper, which I'm not now. No, because you told the bank to come pick it up because you didn't keep it clean. I mean, that's really interesting. You had a place to stay in, and then you couldn't keep it cleaned up. You couldn't keep it straight. You said there was black mold growing in it. You said that the toilet wasn't working. I mean, all of these things that you're talking about, I mean, you're just admitting every single thing that everybody's been saying. It won't be long before Felicia comes out and says, "Oh my God, you have no idea how horrible it smelled there." The amount of raw sewage. I mean, I didn't enjoy having to use the porta potty. You have no idea what she's going to say. Or an HG of food stamps. Hey, I was on food stamps. No shame. No shame. Got to do it. I'm on disability. I can't work, but if I could make over $98 a month, it starts cutting into your benefits. They don't cover vision, dental. Those are extra. I can't afford those. I don't grift. It's how things go on those. I pay for the food. I pay for the tortoises. I pay for the ham. I pay for the pellets. I pay for the veggies. Yes. Oh well, but you also you don't have a 501c3 anymore, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't that get revoked? Did that 501c3 get revoked? I mean, or did she finally get it back? I mean that's money that she had to spend there on something that is not making her any money. Because I mean, usually whenever you have rescue, you get some sort of funding. You have people that are interested in what you're doing. You got donations that come in for that. I guess it didn't work. I mean, tortoises. Who really needs to work on tortoises? Well, apparently you do. Apparently you have to do something a little more than just throw them a little bit of food every so often. And I mean, there might be like heat, water, livable space. It has to be cleaned out. It's not like they're living in the wild. You have to do so many things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been revoked 3 years ago. No financial statements filed. Yeah, and you have to do that because then you have to show your work. Oh, I pay for everything: soap, detergent, everything else. I do not have any money left over. Well, you had enough money left over to get your hair and makeup done before you went into court, right? Where'd that money come from? Was that a big donation? Was that what helped you out? Oh, it's the 15th of the month and I have $1.23 and I have yet to pay my cell phone bill, which is $68 and some odd cents. I have to make that by the end of the month, as well as all the money that I'm putting away for the RV, which is this moment only $50, but I'm going to keep going. I'm selling everything we own, everything. I don't care what it is. I'm selling it to put a roof and kitchen, a bathroom for my child. A roof and kitchen and a bathroom for your child? Shizzy, the documents. Oh, I've got more. Oh, yeah. Shizzy, more documents? Is there more documents? Oh, I'm sure. It's a grift to avoid paying sales tax. Oh, we didn't ask for this. We came here. We started building our house. We didn't ask for this. We came here. We started building our house. We got it as far as it is and then started being attacked by a lunatic. The documents LP posted on Facebook are actually filed. Well, I see. You don't know because you've only got a portion of what she showed on Facebook. Now, I know that she did do some filing, but we don't know what those actual documents are that are filed because we haven't seen them. Unless they've opened up those files already and you can see them. I mean, I've seen what she posted on Facebook, but see, they've done this kind of crap before. Doesn't necessarily mean that what she's showing is actually what was filed. No, she filed something. You don't know if that's what she filed yet. You just know that she filed something. And that's how I take it, as she filed something. Until I see the actual documents that were filed, I'm going to show you what she says that she filed. Why doesn't she move into that barn? Isn't it just a big shed? She could put a window into it and cool. It would be worse than a shed. Yeah, I'm going to go over it also. But like I said, it's what she says was filed. Until I have the actual document, I'm just going to go by what she says was filed, because that's all I have. Those court documents, I don't have access to those yet. Just saying. This is how I roll. Now they're attacking me because you are believing the word of one person without even, no, it is not the word of one person. This is what she doesn't understand. It's not the word of one person. It's the word of multiple people. It's a history of playing the same thing over and over and over again. We've seen this. Good night. You have a wonderful one, Kippy. It's good to see you. The barn has doors and windows. Yeah. More lawsuits coming. Lynette'S where does the judge have the ability to deny them? Well, we'll get into that really, really soon. There's an investigation. Thank God. The what? With the police? Okay. Even ask me or give me a chance to tell my side of the story. At least with the police, I get to give my side, at least to the police. That doesn't mean shit. There's an investigation. What investigation? What's the investigation, Lynette? The investigation on what? There's an investigation. Thank God. For thank you all, that God bless. And I mean, I hope God blesses you in ways you've never been thought of. I pray that God gives you every need, every desire that you have. And I pray that God leads into the right directions. Has her tell the truth and stop all the nonsense. And I hope that some of you will get in touch with us. Please call me, send me money. And ask us what's happening. Get our side of the story. Thank you. Have a great day. Oh, no. Because see, here's the thing, Lynette. Weren't these people reaching out to you and asking you questions on YouTube, and you shut down your comments over there? So it's not like you're looking for answers because you can't handle. Welcome, Tug Raiders. Welcome. You're not looking for answers. You are looking for money. That's it. You're grifting still. But I digress, because we're going to get into the second part of this. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive. But before we do that, we've got a nice little open letter for you. And I hope you enjoy it. Let me get it. Right, here we go.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
An open letter to Lynette and Fleesa. Receipts don't come with Kleenex. Lynette, another day, another 4,000-word pity monologue dumped on Facebook, written like you're testifying before a jury that doesn't exist. You seem to think typing "I begged, I cried, I prayed" on repeat is some kind of closing argument. But here's the problem. You're crying to the wrong audience. Permits don't care about tears. Engineers do work for sob stories, and the county doesn't accept Kleenex in place of paperwork. You tell us you went to Levy County crying as if the building department hands out certificates of occupancy in exchange for waterworks. You name drop Bo, you name drop the Bronson Board. You swear they threw you a lifeline. Well, that's fantastic. Where's the letter? Where's the email? Where's the memo where the county says, "Congratulations, Lynette, here's a free do-over because you wept in our lobby"? Oh, right, it doesn't exist. What exists is your dramatic retelling where crying substitutes for competence. If you got this lifeline, post it. Till then, it's just your latest bullshit bedtime story. Then comes Michael the architect. According to you, this man was ready to save the day for $2,500. You gave his number to Fleesa. She left a voicemail. He called back. She didn't answer, and somehow that's your defense. This is your house, your permit, your child's supposed home, and you thought passing a phone number to Fleesa was the same thing as getting the job done. Well, that's not true. That's laziness. A constant story that looks fabricated. If Michael is real, then show the invoice, show the text, show the voicemail. Otherwise, stop dangling those ghosts like we're supposed to clap for your word salad of bullshit. And that brings us to Fleesa. Well, you painted her as both the savior and the saboteur. The one who's supposed to frame it, pay for it, call the architect, even cough up 10 grand on command. You begged her and begged her and begged her. Do you even hear yourself? That's not a defense. That's his admission that you sat back waiting for someone else to carry the entire load. And when she didn't pull the miracle out of her ass, you rewrote yourself as the tragic heroine and her as the traitor. But here's where it gets filthy, as it always does. The money. Not a couple hundred. Not a GoFundMe for gas money. We're talking tens of thousands, maybe pushing close to $200,000 raised under the banner of Help Lynette. Except it wasn't for you at all, was it? It was for them. Fleesa collected it. Fleesa controlled it. And when people asked where it went, well, she didn't produce a ledger. She smirked and said, oh, that was donated to me, not Lynette. Well, that's not transparency. That's theft. And that looks more like jail time than any scam that you've been trying to pull. That's the grift right there. In her own words. Think about it. You're crying over expired permits while Fleesa is swimming in donations that were raised on your name, on the child's name. She strutted around as the patron saint of your suffering, shook the cup, built her clout, and then locked those numbers away. No donor lists, no totals, no breakdowns, just a black hole of cash and bullshit excuses. She weaponized your misery for her brand. Hell, she built her empire on your tears, and you still talk about her like she's the friend who let you down instead of the thief who cut you out of your own rescue. That's why this whole thing stinks. You aren't just unlucky, Lynette, you're complicit. You let her run the pot. You let her keep the books. You let her play gatekeeper with the money while you played martyr at the county counter. And now you're shocked? Well, shit, that's not courage. That's regret. You handed her the purse, and now you're mad that she bolted the doors and locked you out. Thieves do what thieves do. Meanwhile, you trot out distraction, anonymous RVs, grocery lists, tortoise hay. You think people are going to look at you and say, wow, Lynette buys dish soap, so she must be innocent. Everyone pays bills. Everyone buys groceries. The difference is that we don't write them out like court exhibits to distract from the fact that we can't produce one thing that really matters: receipts. And your sanctimony is the cherry on top. I've never said one ill word about Fleesa. Please, you just wrote a manifesto word smear dressed up as a prayer request. You loved her. You cared about her. Spare us. That's not love. It's manipulation. You're trying to frame your betrayal as heartbreak so you can look like the victim while plunging the knife. Well, meanwhile, Fleesa's out here playing Joan of Arc with your donations while screaming that the cash was never yours in the first place. So here's the reality. You and Fleesa are two sides of the same rotten coin. You cry, she cashes. You beg, she banks. You play the victim, she plays the savior, and together you built a little grift circus that collapsed under its own weight, and somewhat like Fleesa's creaky chair. And that permit, it didn't die because the county was cruel. It died because Fleesa sat on the war chest, and you even condoned it with her. Because you're sure as hell could not have set a lawsuit in motion. But you haven't done that either, have you? What does she have on you? And we've seen this act before. This isn't some original scam. It's the same tired playbook that's been running for years. Someone calls themselves the benefactors, rallies the donor, builds a platform of sympathy that rebrands the money as personal. And the second anyone asks questions, sanctuary posts, sob stories, donation drives, silence on the ledger, rinse and repeat. They try to separate the victim from the receipts, then act shocked when the walls cave in. So the real question is, just what happened? It's what scam are they pulling next? Because when the walls start to tremble, people pivot fast. First they deny, then they deflect, then they separate. Oh, that money wasn't for Lynette, it was for me. The classic, it's not our circus, it's our monkeys, not our monkeys maneuver. Well, and then they rebrand. Watch for it. The new fundraiser, a new label, a new excuse. They'll claim they're still supporting the cause while pocketing the next wave of those donations. Well, right now, those walls are definitely starting to crash. Felisa's losing her mind at being called out. Well, it's sort of predictable. When you build a shrine to your own generosity, being called a grifter is like lighting the match under your own altar. She rages, denies, lashes out at critics, anything to avoid coughing up the numbers. Lynette keeps pumping out the epics, lies about lies, as if burying people in paragraphs will erase the missing money. But the more elaborate the story, the more obvious the absence of those receipts. So here's the question both of you deserve. In public daylight. Questions for Lynette. Where is the actual permit reinstatement letter you claim Levy County gave you? If Michael the architect agreed to take a job, where's his invoice, his email, or even one text message? Why did you hand his number to Felisa instead of handling your own project directly? If the RV exists, where's the title, the photo, or any proof that this isn't just another bullshit grift story? Why do you write posts about begging and praying instead of producing one single document? And for Felisa, you admitted you were holding the donation, so where's the ledger? How much money was collected in total? Don't tell us enough. Give a number. Who were the donors? Why did you hide that information for Lynette if it was raised in her name or even her child's name? Why did you claim the money was donated to you when every donor thought they were helping them? Where's the bank statements, the PayPal history, the Cash App receipts? If the money was spent, on what? If it wasn't, where is it now? Until those questions are answered with proof, not the gaslighting that you're attempting, you're both just swapping lies about the lies while those walls come tumbling down around you. Signed, Shizzywhiznut. An artard riding the short bus, Velcro shoes strapped in tight, legal badger of doom who still likes receipts more than your bullshit stop stories any single day, and most definitely owning you on every damn one of them.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
All right. So, here we go. Surely it's very hard to pay regular bills as it is, but I'm lucky that I have my brother living with me to help a little bit. Yeah. And that is something that anybody can face at any given point in time. It is not just an isolated thing. It is how you handle those fabulous letters and questions that need to be answered. They should, especially for their followers. Thank you, Colleen. Those letters should always be answered by their followers, not by the followers are the ones that deserve the answers of all this, not me. I'm just an idiot with a computer. As usual, wonderful letter. Thank you. I know we would feel rich. Absolutely. So I want to take you guys back just a little bit here. And I'm not going to dig too far into it, but I'm going to dig back a little bit. That will sort of bring us a little bit more up to date. So what we got is amended complaints for damages. Now, if you don't know what this is, there was an original complaint filed. Okay. The original complaint, and look at the date on this. So there was a complaint that was filed on 9/16. 2 days later, this amended complaint was filed. And then this is what they wanted to complain about. They said, basically give all this. facts common to all counts. They bring up this big long tail, and you'll notice that this is the same thing because this is all Bubbles writing. I mean, this is something that he would write about beginning around the summer of 2023. There was a reality drama. What the hell's theme of it was Bad Neighbors. It was originated based on a false premise, not the premise that Miss Preston stalked us to Otter Creek by purchasing property, which is what it looks like so far. Hells have used Miss Preston, Mr. Cook, and a 4-year-old HG as fodder for their content. No, they're exposing people for what they are. That's what they've been doing. And the reality hurts. The reality of it really fucking hurts. Whenever these grifters and these liars and these scammers get exposed, it hurts bad because it puts a cramp in their ability to do it to the next person. Because then people start noticing things. They start seeing the same patterns over and over and over and over again. And there's people that are very easily manipulated, very easily contrived into following into these footsteps that other people have already trod. I mean, how long did it take for Lynette to turn against her? Against Lisa? How long did it take Shara to walk away? How many times has this happened? And as much as the fleas were sitting there going, we stand behind her 100%. Jeremy's doing all of this horrible stuff to her. They're mirroring the same language that Jeremy used, the same exact language, almost to a T. They're saying the same thing. Why? Because she's got a history of doing this. Hails the risk if you use Miss Preston, Mr. Cook for 4-year-old HG Preston's fodder for content on their YouTube channel, subjecting them to harassment, bullying, stalking, defamation, invasion of privacy, thousands of menacing, vulgar comments about what the hell's fans on social media. But she put herself out there on purpose. For our case, the 11th LP lawyer was told he had days to respond, and today was the last day he failed to respond. The BR case will be closed again tomorrow, Wednesday. No, the 11th LP lawyer was told he had 3. I think you mean to say he had 3 days to respond. Today was the last day. He did respond. He had to get service. He had to get service. I know it was 3 days, but he had to perfect service is what he had to do. That's what he was supposed to do. I'll go over it. I'll go over it tomorrow. But he did file service. He did perfect service. They gave him 3 days of perfect service. And according to him, he did. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. I mean, well, they'll probably schedule the hearing up, if I'm not mistaken. That's probably the next thing that you'll hear is the hearing being scheduled up for them to go through with that. Hales, but see, the thing is still on hold until a judge says that it's back on. It stays on hold. I mean, the stay is lifted. So she has to respond to all of the other shit that she's been holding off on. Subject to him to harassment, bullying, stalking, defamation, invasion of privacy, thousands of menacing, vulgar comments by what the hell's fans on social media, messages, phone calls from strangers threatening Miss Preston. Now, I've told people before, something else, check messages. Okay, I'll check that out. I'll check it out here shortly. Let me get this one caught up. So this is all of the complaints that she had, and it was long. Whenever I say it was long, it was 15 pages of the same thing. Okay. This is where it started. We're just talking about the trespass case. This is where the trespass case started. 5 counts. I mean, it just goes on and on. We're talking all of these paragraphs, and it just goes that they're asking for all of this stuff. This is horrible things that they've done. Okay. Well, and then this came along. This was after there was a response filed. Almost a year later. Because if you look, You look right over here at the very top. This tells you when this was filed. Let's get up here to the very top, just so you guys can see. This one was filed on 9/18. On 9/16 is when I tried to eat. I tried to be cat. Ooh, that's hot. 9/18, 2024. Look at the date on this. 3/19, 2025. Months later. And after multiple tries of trying to get this information, asking for them to cancel, asking them for to shut down this lawsuit, that it's frivolous, that it's not going anywhere. They say they get to the point where there's supposed to be a hearing. And what happened? Motion to compel plaintiff Michelle Preston to appear for a deposition and for award of reasonable expenses because she dismissed the case. We'll get to that because it's in here. Defendants Therese Granger, Brett Granger, by and through undersigned counsel, hereby request this court enter an order compelling plaintiff Michelle Preston to appear for deposition and awarding defendants all reasonable expenses incurred by defendants due to plaintiff Michelle Preston's failure to appear for her properly noticed deposition on March 19th. So she had one earlier. On March 5th, 2025, she was served a second amendment. Defendant, which would be Granger, was served a second amended motion of taking deposition of Michelle Preston, a copy attached here to the notice. Pursuant to the notice, Michelle Preston was to appear for deposition in Levy County Courthouse. At this time, there was no motion for protection filed in the case. Michelle Preston failed to appear for her deposition on March 19th, 2025. A certificate of non-appearance of witnesses will be filed separately with this court upon receipt of the court reporter. As a result, defendants incurred expenses, including without limitation costs and fees. The court may take action when party fails to appear, wherefore defendants respectfully request this court to enter an order requiring her to appear for a deposition, requiring plaintiff to pay an award for defendants' reasonable expenses incurred in prosecuting this motion due to her failure to appear, granting such further relief as the court deems proper. I certify that prior to filing this motion, I called 2 cell phones. Computer parts, you say? Yes, maybe. I respond, eventually hung up. I'll get to your super chat here in a bit. I described the relief requested. This is costing me money. Pay me. Here is the copy of what was put in here. Second amended motion of taking deposition. It was supposed to be on March 19th, 2025. She didn't show up to a deposition. Are we seeing a history here of the shenanigans that she's playing? Doesn't show up to the deposition that she's required to show up to. What happens instead? Motion to tax costs. Defense Therese Granger, Brett Granger's by and through their undersigned attorneys to enter an order awarding taxable costs. The above mentioned case is in excess of $50,000. The plaintiffs allege that defendants committed wrongful acts sounding in tort and sought damages for intentional infliction of emotional distress. The complaint was filed on September 18th, 2024. Defendant filed a motion to dismiss on November 27th, 2024. Defendants had plaintiff Michelle Preston scheduled for her deposition on March 5th, 2025. She failed to appear. On around March 21st, 2025, the plaintiffs voluntarily dismissed their case without prejudice, a copy being attached. Under such circumstances, the general rule in Florida is that when a plaintiff voluntarily dismisses an action, the defendant is the prevailing party. It is not necessary for there to be an adjudication on the merits in order to be entitled to fees as a prevailing party. The proper test is whether defendants in fact prevailed on their significant issues tried before the court. Michelle Preston, and through her mother, Michelle Preston, sued defendants, Therese Granger, Brett Granger, for damage and failed to recover. Therefore, Therese Granger, Brett Granger are the prevailing party. Pursuant to Florida Civil Procedure 1.42, defendants are entitled to a judgment for costs entered in this action. Defendants request the court enter a judgment for costs in favor of defense Therese and Brett Granger. So hereby certify this. And here's the notice of voluntary dismissal. Comes through, files a voluntary dismissal in this action without prejudice as to all defendants, which means that they can come back and try to sue again. Here's what happened. That didn't go through because she filed for bankruptcy. And then this was her last filing to that. The reason for this letter is because I filed bankruptcy in this court, and the defendants know this. So she's admitting she knows that there was a bankruptcy filed in this. Maybe not computer parts, you say. Most definitely computer parts. And yes, you might be able to hear it screaming. I hope that I've got it modded out enough that you can't hear my video card screaming. It's lived a long, fruitful life, but it is dying really quickly. I do have one ordered. It is on its way. It should be here sometime next month. Thank you very much for that. Maybe not. And that's what I'm doing, building up my damn computer, make new videos for you guys. Dwayne Rapp has become a new member. Welcome.
Welcome to the shit show.
Oh yes. Every single day. It's a new flavor of buggery, cause everybody sucks, you see. And Ella, how you doing? Good to see you, Ella Applegate. Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, baldered, dash pop, cock, bollocks, and buggery. Hi, everyone. Good to see you, Sandra. Good to see you. Kevin Sheely. It was a computer, but I bet you choose Annex. So this is what was filed. They actually were asking for this to be handled in this particular case. Now, because the way the court cases were moving, this is where we move into the bankruptcy letter where she says, oh, I have bankruptcy. I don't want to show up at this hearing. Well, at the hearing, the judge told them you need to file notice of an evidentiary hearing. This is what we're going to have. This is when we're going to have it. There is an evidentiary hearing that will be held before the Honorable C.K. Grove, judge of the above style court, Levy County Courthouse, on the 22nd day of November. It gives you the exact thing. And this is for the motions sanctioned pursuant to Florida Statute 51, filed 9/18/2024. The hearing is expected to last approximately 2 hours. Okay, are you getting here? Approximately 2 hours. We went over this before. And I love you, Shizzy. Well, thank you, Jenny. And I'll get you the shit show song here if we get a couple more members in. I will throw that in there for you. We'll get all of them at once. So this right here is what was brought against them. 3/25/2025. Okay. You understand this is a different case. This is the thumbnail case, but this is part of it. This is a separate lawsuit that was brought against Michelle Preston. The reason they brought this against Michelle Preston is to get their money for this. So they are looking to make sure this case right here, where they're asking for money, gets handled. Separate from everything else. That's what is being asked. We want you, Judge, we want you to look at this, because here is the thing. We've got a certain amount of money that we've been spending on this. We want to get this taken care of. You'll notice who the plaintiffs are on it. Defendants, you have Therese and Brett Granger. You also have Travis, Deanna West, Rex Woods, all these people right there. And I'm closing some of these windows out because that's what's dragging my computer down. So here you go. This is their original complaint. The complaint seeks damages in excess of $50,000, exclusive of attorney fees and costs. Venue is appropriate in Levy County because the causes of action giving rise to the complaint accrued in Levy County. Defendant president is a resident of Gilchrist County. That's probably just a typo, because I think we all know that she lives in Levy County. On or about September 18, 2024, she filed a lawsuit alleging plaintiffs committed wrongful acts sounding in tort, sought damages for intentional infliction of emotional distress, invasion of privacy, intrusion, conversion, invasion of privacy, publication of private information, civil conspiracy, economic damages, exemplary damages, punitive damages, costs and attorney fees in Gilchrist County, which it wasn't, it should have been Levy County, unless this is in Gilchrist County. But I think that, like I said, I think this was just a typo. In this particular case, 2024 CA 0017, herein after the proceedings. The proceedings commenced by precedent against plaintiffs originated solely with her actions. As such, these actions constitute a legal causation of the proceedings that were commenced against plaintiff. A dismissal was filed with respect to the proceedings. The result represents a bona fide termination of the proceedings brought by precedent's actions that was in favor of the plaintiff. At no time material to this matter was there probable cause for the proceedings. In commencing the proceedings, precedent acted with malice against the plaintiffs just by causing this kind of thing. It's like this. Let me explain. Whenever they're talking about malice, they're not talking about being, they deleted them. No, malice means there was intent behind all of this. This is the main thing about there was intent in doing this. And if it wouldn't have been, it would have been like, oh, you know what? I look at this, I've got a grace period. Let me go ahead and drop this. They never did that. They never dropped it until after. And it was like, oops. But by then they had already bypassed that date. It was too late for them. At no time material this matters or probable cause for the proceedings. Oh, in these proceedings, they acted with malice against the plaintiffs. As a result, the plaintiffs suffered damages. They demand a judgment against Preston for damages suffered in the amount of $55,000 plus prejudgment interest, costs of suit, and other such relief as this court deems just and proper. So it could exceed $55,000. And you say, well, that's a lot of money. You don't realize the amount of time that they had to spend getting into court, filing pleadings, dealing with Bubbles bullshit. All in the middle of this crap. This is what they were have to deal with her. This right here is where she filed that particular document saying that she did not want to be in this anymore. Notice of inactive status. She filed her bankruptcy status. Okay, that's what that is. Let me close this one. Close this one. Then we come to this right here. This was the request to take judicial notice. Pursuant to 90.202 Florida statutes, defendants hereby file this request to take judicial notice of the Florida Bar Lawyer Director showing attorney Scott Stark as deceased and the order dismissing the case for failure to comply with notice of deadline to cure deficiencies. And that's where she filed her other letter yet again. She was just like, well, that wasn't good enough for her. Let me file this letter yet again. And I'm going to bring this up because this next thing is going to be a little bit important. And I'll get to it shortly. Oh, where is it? I believe it was this one right here. Yes, this is correct. All right. Now, we had this one right here. Is them filing a motion for judicial default. Okay. Now, they were told, Judge, if you're a member of the Hales, you would have seen the actual court case where the judge asked for him to file a motion for judicial default. If you haven't seen it, You can always become a member over there. The top tier membership will give you that ability to view those to actually view and hear everything that the judge said. And if you don't believe me, I don't know what to tell you. I'm telling you because I did, and I watched it, and this is exactly what he said. He said, there is a motion for judicial default. It needs to be filed. She will have 30 days or 11 days to file a response. And then in 30 days, we're going to have a hearing on this. Even Shock had said, give her 30 days. That's fine to file a response. She didn't even wait 30 days. She's gone ahead and filed her response, which we're going to get to. We'll get to. Me too. Small things. We will get to this. Everything Jeremy said in this regular video is what happened. Exactly. Everything that Jeremy talked about in his video is what happened. It might have been elaborated, but guarantee you it is exactly what happened. There's no shortcuts around it. He told her, get yourself an attorney. I would highly suggest you've gotten yourself into a lot of trouble with this. You need to get yourself an attorney. You've got issues, get yourself an attorney. I can't give you any information, but get yourself an attorney. So the motion for judicial default. Now she had 10 days to file a response to that. The plaintiffs, by and through their undersigned counsel, pursuant to Florida Civil Code 1.5, hereby respectfully move this court to enter default against defendant Michelle Preston, and in support thereof states as follow. On June 28th, 2025 was served with the summons and complaint this action. On July 5th, 2025, defendant filed a notice of automatic stay due to bankruptcy proceedings, which temporarily stayed this case pursuant to federal bankruptcy law. Defendant, no, that would have been, yeah. No, that would have been June 28th, 2020. Yeah. Okay, that's whenever they served her. On August 18th, 2025, a federal bankruptcy case was dismissed, thus terminating the time of automatic stay. So if you look at 28th through to July 5th, she had that whole time to file a response. What she did instead was she filed a notice of automatic stay almost immediately, as soon, you Google 2025 dad jokes, as soon as she possibly could to put that thing on pause. Well, on August 18th, that pause went away. The case was dismissed. Where are we now? Already in September. August 18th, a month later, still didn't file a response. Bankruptcy case was dismissed, thus terminating the automatic stay. She knew that she had a bankruptcy case going on. She knew it was there because she even filed as such, that she knew that the bankruptcy case was supposed to stay this case. Pursuant to Florida law, the time for the defendant to respond to the complaint resumed, running upon the termination of the automatic stay. Under Florida law, defendant is required to serve a responsive pleading within 20 days after service of process. It's been well over 20 days. From June 28th to July 5th, that's whenever it was paused. On August 18th, it opened back up again. And until supposedly today, she hasn't filed anything. Under Florida law, defendant is required to serve a responsive plea within 20 days. The time period provided for a filing responsive pleading is not affected by the expiration of a term of court. Following the dismissal of the bankruptcy case on August 18th, defendant had an additional period to file responsive pleading pursuant to federal bankruptcy law, and to date, defendant has not filed any responsive pleading or otherwise defended this action other than the notice of automatic stay. Defendant has failed to plead or otherwise defend as provided by the Florida Rules of Civil Procedure, and the time for doing so has expired. Pursuant to Florida Rule of Civil Procedure, when a party against whom affirmative relief is sought has failed to plead or otherwise defend as provided by the rules, the court may enter a default against such party. I certify conferral prior to this filing was not required under Rule 1.202. Therefore, plaintiffs respectfully request this honorable court enter default against judgment against defendant to Michelle Press and grant other such relief as the court deems just and proper. Respectfully submitted. Shock it, filed it, sent it, done. So, here's what she filed. Maybe. This is what she was showing off to say that she's filed. It is a motion to open default. What is this? Well, you ask, what is a motion to open default? A motion to open default means that you're wanting to overturn the default. Okay? This is what a motion to default means. Motion to open default means that you would take it out of default and try to plead your case. The judge could look at this in a very bad way, especially if he looks at any of the preceding filings that's been nothing but a delay after delay after delay after delay after delay, intentionally. The kinds of filings that really put the courts on alert that this person is doing these things in bad faith. Oh, she's also filing her answer to defenses and counterclaims. As the court is aware, I filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy, but due to my counsel's electronic filing issue, it was dismissed. Doesn't mean anything in this court. He filed a restated motion which should be heard on the bankruptcy court October 7th, which is expected the bankruptcy will be reinstated. It's expected, but not necessarily true. And let me see what Max sent me real quick. Because Max is saying there was something that I was sent here. Let me look real quick. Give me just a second. Tell you what I'll do is I will give you guys just a little bit of music. How is that? Give you a little bit of music while I do this. I'll even give you just like maybe a little bit of dancing. How's that? I'll give you a little bit of dance, a little bit of love, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Ooh, well, I like that one, but I'm not going to show you that. That'll give me in all kinds of trouble. I will not do that. Be getting myself in trouble. I don't see it. I know that I have it. Give me just a second. I will show you. Give you a little bit of this. How about this? We'll give you just a nice little run in right here, and we'll take just a short break.
Shizzywhiznut's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gigs and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk in Shizzywhiznut's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, and inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzywhiznut's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We'll live in pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we come together night and day. We laugh, we play in our way. A family in a cyberspace, loving hearts in this virtual place. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We'll live in pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
Just a second. I've almost got it here. It'll take me just a second. Let's save that right there. And then I'm going to open this up real quick just so I can show you. I know what Max was trying to show me, but I got something that I think you're going to find pretty interesting. So let me just a second, because see, there's something I have that's updated, and this was updated earlier. So you can, this might make more sense just a little bit. Here, give me just a second. That's right here. Okay. Now what Max was trying to show me, it doesn't want to allow me to show this, but let me try this image file, and let me try doing this. Ba, 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 ba. It's being very much a pain in my butt. So why is it not showing? I've got it. It's just not, it's not helping me. It's not being very helpful. Let's go back here and go to this, right there. And why is it not showing up there? I'm having, you know, StreamYard has been acting really funky like this. It's really starting to pee me off. Let me find where that is saved, because for whatever reason, now I know Tug was probably having the same issue. Open file location. Where is it? Open file. Why is it not opening? File location. There we go. All right. This is right there. And for whatever reason, it's not showing in my folder. Why is it not showing in my folder? Is it in here? That's why. It's in here. Ah, that's why. All right, here we go. Open this one. There it is. Now I can show this to you. All right. So this right here is what I'm trying to show to you guys here. Now it might be really small. I don't know if I can bring that up any larger. There we go. All right. So happens, dangerous waves. Yes, Tug complained too. Really, really crazy. Okay, so what Max was trying to show me is that there was this right here, that they had 3 days to file. Certificate of service within 3 days. Failure to comply with this notice requirements result in being canceled. But this is the updated, just so you know, this is updated, Max. There is document number 36, which is the certificate of mailing filed by Jerome Ramison on behalf of Lynette. 34, motion to reinstate. 35, notice of hearing. Immediate action required. Notice to certify court of being supposed to cancel or deny. Filed and entered 9/15 right there. So there's the certificate. That's what needed to be happen. That's what needed to have happen for it to continue on. So he's showing that there is a certificate of mailing that was filed. So it's been taken care of, Max. That's what I was saying, that the bankruptcy is still, the hearing is still on. The hearing is going to happen. It'll be later on. It doesn't stop the stay. Yeah, I know. What I'll do is I'll send you that screenshot over here in a little bit, so that way you got it. Give me just a little bit, and I'll send it to you before I head out tonight. If I don't, just send me a reminder and I'll email it over to you. But yes, it is still going forward. Let's see, window right here, and we can share that back up there. I got you. We're good. No problem, Max. I'll get it to you because it came in late. It really came in late. I had to pull up Pacer, and I was just seeing what all was going on. That's what I usually try to do before I do a stream, is see all that's been happening. This one I got today. I think right after you emailed me, I went and pulled it up just to see what exactly was going on. But very much thank you, Max. As the court is aware, I filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy due to this. If the automatic stay ends up being lifted later, or the bankruptcy does not result in the discharge of plaintiff's action, there's no prejudice. Yes, there is. There would still be prejudice because it is a delay tactic. There is plenty of delay going on. There would be small. Yeah. Answer defenses, counterclaims, just as there had been no interruption, just as if there had been no interruption in the bankruptcy. This case could resume should the bankruptcy not dispose of it altogether. I cannot afford an attorney, and so all I can do is hope the court does not force me to keep defending this case. You had an attorney. You had an attorney that was representing you. How was that attorney getting paid? How was that attorney getting paid? Okay, let me explain a little bit of something, the way attorneys operate here. Okay, attorneys. Say, for example, you're an attorney. Max is my attorney. Max is going to represent me, hypothetically. Max is going to represent me. I call up Max and I say, listen, I got a traffic ticket. I need an attorney to represent me in this traffic ticket. So what Max says is, okay, more than likely this case is going to take me just to look at it. No, it doesn't. Hold on, I'll get to it. Max says it's going to cost $200 for me to help you out. That's an hour's worth of my time. That's what it's going to cost for me just to look over the document. And I said, okay, look over the document. And then he looks over the document and finds out I have a DUI and I ran over 20, 30 people. He goes, oh, no, you hit a bus full of nuns. This is going to be a massive case. Okay. I'm going to require a retainer. That retainer is going to be $30,000, $100,000, $200,000, just throwing out a number there because, he may go, I really don't think you have a case here. I'm going to tell you that you should just go ahead and plead guilty on this, and I'll charge you, $10,000. We'll plead guilty on all of this. You'll serve your time in prison. You're going to prison for a long time. There's nothing I can do to help you out. I'm giving you my full undivided attention. Then this is a private conversation between me and Max here. So Max is, no, not yet, the cat whisperer. And so I say, no, I want to fight this in court. And you say, well, this is going to be a retainer of at least $1 million. There's no way, because if you get thrown in jail, I'm not doing this. And we'll check off that retainer. Anything that's left over goes back to you. Say it only costs, $20,000, but he's just like, I really don't want this case. I want to make sure that somebody else handles it. But no, I come up with the money. He says, okay, let's go. Start that case. And say it ends up costing $2 million at the end of the day because I'm being sued and countersued and I'm running up lawyer bills. I'm just like, they're giving me the runaround. I'm just screwed. They're screwing me over left and right. He burns through that. There's still another $2 million left out there that he's just another $1 million. He's just can't collect on it. And he's saying, listen, we've already run through this because of your shenanigans. You've gone and filed things in the court that I've told you not to. I got this other lawyer that's bleeding in my ear, and you're paying them too. And we've gone through this entire amount of money. I'm going to stop working on this case. I'm done. I'm done. You haven't paid your bills. You're not coming up with any money. You're in prison right now. You're not working, your job, doing YouTube. You're going to have, I have to cut you off because I've got other cases that I need to handle. So I'm going to cut you off. So what I do is Max goes and he goes to the court and he says, listen, I am firing my client. They're not paying their bills. I agree they're totally they should have some sort of representation, but they haven't paid their bills, and I'm starting to go in the hole. And the judge will grant them that ability to do it. Now, if it was a murder case, they'll give them an attorney. But now if it was just a simple traffic ticket, and that person said, and Max says, listen, it was just a simple traffic ticket, but he's done all this other stuff. He's in civil suits now, and I'm dropping him as an attorney. I'm not representing him. I'm done with him. He's a horrible client. Doesn't pay his bills. He's filing stuff I don't want him to. Max has always been a rock star, and so he fires me as a client. I have to petition the court to be removed from. I have to show up. I have to plead my case of why I don't want to be there. Sometimes the judge will just say, absolutely, you're done. That's not what Scott Stark did. Scott Stark was given the opportunity to drop out of this. He wouldn't drop out. Okay. He was given the opportunity to make sure they dropped the case. They didn't drop the case. They continued on with the case. That right there gave them the ability to come back and countersue for him not dropping the case. It is Michelle's responsibility, as soon as she found out that Scott Stark had passed, it was her responsibility, whether she likes it or not, to file notice to the court showing that Scott Stark had passed, that he was no longer with us, that she was going to need new counsel. She never did that. So now she's wanting to file this garbage of saying, well, I cannot afford an attorney, so all I can do is hope the court does not force me to keep defending this case while the bankruptcy is working. This has nothing right here. All of this has absolutely nothing to do with her bankruptcy court. This right here, the bankruptcy court does not exist. The judge made that very clear. Watch the video. He made it very, very clear to Lynette. It does not matter. There is no stay in bankruptcy court until that stay happens. We're not speculating. We are moving this thing forward. It's happening. It's moving forward. And if this case resumes following the outcome of my bankruptcy petition, I will, of course, defend myself against the plaintiff's claims as well as pursue counterclaims against them. But that's the problem. This is not what the case is about. And you know this is not what the case is about because you're saying right here, in all of this, you didn't give any reason whatsoever of why you were screwed up. Answers defense's counterclaims. Well, not a factual allegation requiring a response. Not a factual allegation requiring a response. Well, you have to understand that you are supposed to be filing a response to this dumbass right here. Motion for default, judicial default. Right here. This is what you're supposed to be responding to. If a judge looks at your response and sees this right here, I hope for Christ's sakes that he looks at it and goes, what in the hell is she filing a response to this for? She says no factual allegation requiring a response. Well, what do you mean? That's not a factual allegation that requires a response? I hope the judge looks at this the same way that I did whenever it first came popping up. But me, look at the bottom of the page. Oh, I know. I'll get there. I'll get there. I've read this document, trust me. Because what I realized is she was responding to the initial complaint. And I don't have it pulled up. Yes, I do. I have the original complaint pulled up. This right here is what she's responding to. I thought she was responding to this whenever I first looked at it for the motion for judicial default. And what she's filing here is answers, defenses, and counterclaims to the original petition. Yeah. So, original petition says the complaint seeks damages excess of $50,000 exclusive attorney's fees and costs. And she says, well, not a factual allegation requiring a response. That would be a factual allegation. That would be saying that the complaint seeks damages. Venue is appropriate in Levy County because the causes of action giving rise to complaint accrued in Levy County. And she says the venue is not contested. That's not a proper response. Defendant Preston is a resident of Gilchrist County, which is not correct. She states that. Denied Preston is denied that Preston is a resident of Gilchrist County as she resides in Levy County without knowledge of the remaining part. Without knowledge of the remaining part, which would be as such is sui juris. In the correct venue. Admit to a lawsuit was filed in Levy County, not Gilchrist County, which that's what this one read here. Just basically saying that they've. Oh, so she's saying that on 4, she filed a lawsuit alleging plaintiffs committed wrongful acts sounding and tort sought damages for all of these particular things right here. And all that she says is admit that the lawsuit was filed in Levy County, not Gilchrist County. Unknown was met by this allegation for what? She's saying the lawsuit was filed in Levy County. That's it. So she's saying that the rest of it is true or false, not a proper response. But then she goes down here. The proceedings commenced by Preston against plaintiffs originated solely with her actions. Well, unknown was meant by this allegation. What unknown? I don't know what you mean by this allegation. Meant the Preston filed the reference action through counsel. Sweetheart, you signed off on it. Okay. On your original lawsuit. And I'll go back and I'll pull it up because it's very important to understand that she is the one that filed this originally. She is the one that filed this. She is the one that signs her name to the bottom of it. Whenever you sign your name to it, it means that you read that thing over. It means you read the whole damn thing. Amended complaint. We go down here. This is the complaint. You go down here to the very bottom. What do you see down here at the bottom? Right there. Scott Stark signed it through her. The original complaint, which is this one, she signed at the very bottom down here. Her attorney signed it. She signed it. She knew what it was in there. She knew what was in the lawsuit. Could Stark have been a resident of Gilchrist County as both are going to be held responsible? That is a possibility. He might have been part of Gilchrist County. What the hell's be loving this every time this nut job psycho puts her pigeon English on and hangs herself a bit. Yeah. A dismissal was filed with respect to the proceedings. Well, not really. Admit the voluntary dismissal was filed under 14.2 without prejudice. Pursue the claims at a later time. What? To pursue the... Then you plan on... So you're admitting that you were going to be a vexatious litigant. So the intention was to file this and then refile it. Cancel, refile, cancel, refile. But you say you have no money, you can't afford an attorney. So how are you going to pursue the claims at a later time if you have no money? start with some Pinellas County. I thought so. It was probably just an error. It was a leftover document. I've had it happen before too. Denied. There was no litigation of the merits or any adjudication. The dismissal was without prejudice. Well, that's not true, because right here it says at no time materialist matter was there probable cause for the proceedings. But what does she say under 8? Let's see. 8. The result represents a bona fide termination of the proceedings brought by precedent action that was in favor of the plaintiffs. That was shown. Yes. That right there was shown. The result represents a bona fide termination of the proceedings. Dismissal was filed with respect to the proceedings. The result represents a bona fide termination of the proceedings brought by precedent actions that was in favor of the plaintiffs. Yes, it is already determined. Whenever a person drops out of a lawsuit, you win. You win. Simple as that. It's a win. That's how it works in the state of Florida. Now, other states might be different. So whenever she's saying, well, there's no litigation of the merits or any adjudication, that's because they were having a hearing on that one. If you remember, there is a hearing on it right there. Okay? There's a hearing right here. There's a hearing coming up in this case, October 2022. October 2022. Told Lynette she'll be held to the standards of a lawyer. Exactly. But this is where it gets a little bit funky. Defense is the plaintiffs claim this is not right because the underlying action did not terminate in their favor or to give rise to standing for malicious prosecution claims, since it was voluntarily dismissed, and there was no litigation of the merits or any of the court rulings, adjudication. The claims of the underlying action voluntary. The claims of the underlying action was voluntary. A claim voluntary under 14.2 without prejudice as a matter of law does not give standing for a claim for malicious prosecution. It does if you ran out of time, which you ran out of time in filing a response. See, this is where you got to understand. 1.42, once you ran out of time, the voluntary dismissal does not work. They can come after you for attorney fees. You idiot. Of course, your attorney knows this. And why do I say that her attorney knows this? Is because if you go down here to the very bottom of all of this bullshit that they put in here, it's saying that this was prepared with the free assistance of a lawyer. You got exactly what you paid for. Michelle, you got exactly what you paid for. They gave you shit. Your free assistance, it ain't going to fly. Because you know what you're missing here, Michelle? You're missing who actually is your free assistance. See, it doesn't matter if you pay them or not. You are required by the state of Florida to let the court know who it was that filled it out for you. If you have assistance of an attorney, they are required by the state of Florida. You are required to notify the court. Not only that, it has to be signed off and notarized by you that what you're saying is true. That's not in there. The chances of this even getting through a judge, all this bullshit, all of your counterclaims, which I'll go over tomorrow, all of your counterclaims are not going to fly. Everything that you filed in this is not going to fly without certifying who it was that helped you with this. There's a reason why that they do this, because I don't believe that you had an attorney help you. I don't think you did. Because just saying it was prepared with free assistance of a lawyer, the judge is going to want to ask that lawyer some questions. And you have to certify who it is, because if you can't certify and verify who the attorney was, it puts the judge in a position of going, you are definitely not getting the same kindness that a pro se litigant would be getting by improperly filing something. Because even your attorney that was supposed to be helping you with this, your free assisted attorney, is supposed to put their name in there. And if you change it or you lie about it, guess what? They're going to be held to a higher standard, even more so than that, because you got to put down who did it. Was it paint chips? Was it paint chips that helped you out on this? Or maybe it was Bubbles that helped you out on this. No, Bubbles wouldn't be that stupid. No. Let's see. Maybe was it a retired attorney? Or maybe. Oh, maybe it was that retired attorney's husband. Oh yeah, that would be a really good one. That's going to look really good. Maybe. I know. You got the most famous lawyer in YouTube land to ever help you out. That would be. Oh, let's see. Who was that attorney? Oh God, yeah. Oh no, it was the Flea. She helps you, right? Oh, that's right. You're on bad speaking terms. What was it? Was it the attorney that doesn't represent you but represents you in the bankruptcy case? Would you think he would do something that stupid? No, he wouldn't do that. That would get him in all kinds of trouble, wouldn't it? Because he said that he was not. Was it a disbarred attorney from Florida? Huh? He's not from Florida. He's originally from New York, but that disbarred guy might have filled it out for you. Who was it, Michelle? You have to tell the judge this in your filing. Or more than likely, he's going to look at this and he's going to hold it to the same standards he would an attorney, and he would want you to explain every single thing about this filing. Well, what does 1404 say? What does it actually say? What does it mean? What does it mean to you, Michelle? It looks like they will be bribing another attorney with poor bar standing. Good luck. Because once he puts his name on it, guess what? He's now representing her. Oh, that's right. They have to in the state of Florida. Of course, if you're from another state and you didn't know that, then you'd probably fuck that up pretty bad. But hey, smoke another doobie and everything will be just fine, because you're the brightest fucking one out there. Yeah, I've seen how bright you are. I saw that your deposition means you got to show up in person for that, doesn't it? Didn't really want to do that, did you? Guess we find out where that is, huh? Did Bruce try with this in one of the federal cases? No, Bruce ain't that smart. He's not that stupid. He would never do that. He would never do something, totally amateurish. Nah, he's been practicing for 26 years. He's the smartest one in the world. It might have been a Ouija board Stark. Hey, I think we could use a Ouija board Stark, don't you? A little Ouija board Stark. Just be like, sort of like something creepy. Sounds like a broken chair. Yeah, naughty attorney looking to get the boot. Represent LMNOP free advertising. Oh my gosh, thank you for the gift. Let me get these right here real quick. We got some new members, and also we got, maybe not to give me Colleen. I think did I catch Colleen? She's looking for another big grift to run. All right, let me get these all real quick, and then I'll have an open letter for you. Member for 7 months, and this is for you, Robert Ward. I think I already got you, but let's get you again.
Welcome to the
Thank you for being here for 7 months. It is a beautiful thing to have you here. It is wonderful to see every single one of your members. Thank you so much. You do definitely support this channel. Colleen with a $10 super chat. And we got Dwayne Rapp. I'll get to the other ones. We got Dwayne Rapp has become a new YouTube member. And then we got the wonderful Jimmy right there. 8675309. Been here for 9 months. We got you. And we got Colleen is gifted 1 membership to make it all well-rounded and make it feel good and snug all over you. Maybe not. Computer parts, you say. Yes. In case you guys didn't know, I have a computer that has slowly been worn down like me. It's gotten old. I got this computer. I built this computer from the ground up back in 2012. Is that right? 2012. Yeah, about 2012. I built this computer from the ground up. If that gives you any idea how old my computer is that I'm running. In 2012, I built this computer from the ground up. In 2018, I took everything that I had, and except for the hard drive, and I started fresh with all new parts in 2018. All new parts. It wasn't even like top of the line stuff. It was enough to use as a gaming PC and do work with, which I didn't do a whole lot of work. I didn't even stream at that point in time. And here it is, 2025, and my processor is still good because that one was one of the better ones. But the rest of it's starting to crap out. So I'm having to upgrade my computer a little bit, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just spending money to do it. So yes, that's how it goes. But that's what you have to do. Your first computer was a Tandy with a DOS disk. Yeah, that was whenever you had the 5 3/4 DOS disk. those I remember those things. Ouija board attorney. We need more Ouija board attorneys. Like, subscribe, shares. These letters don't write themselves. I do have another letter, but I think I'm going to save that one for tomorrow because I want to go over all of her little pieces and her complaints. You had your computer since 2010. Yeah, I mean, you also have to understand that I did a lot of gaming. Goes right with the witchcraft book of BBBs and witches. Not sure which LP falls under. Probably a different one for each of her names and personality. Also had portable phone that weighed about 3 pounds. Yeah. I remember the portable phone had a giant battery in it. It was like a small suitcase. The charge on that thing would last maybe 15 minutes. Yeah, it had the push buttons on it. I wonder if this is Lynette'S way of trying to get free legal advice from the judge again. Maybe she used legal AI for this document. No, she's saying she used free assistance of an attorney, of a lawyer. Well, okay. So let's see. You got to. Here's the thing that the courts don't play around with that I don't think she understands. Courts have a whenever you put things out there like that, with a little star next to it. Yeah, you have to show your work. You have to show your work. You have to tell who it was. Hell, it could have been a guy that does traffic court. Yeah, 5.5 was the real floppy disk. And then after that, then they had the harder disk. I don't know, what was they in 3x3 or something like that? Yeah, floppy. Yeah, I remember working on, I believe they were Apples whenever I worked in, they were actually called Macintosh, I believe. Yeah, I think they were called Macintosh at the time. It was still like basically the same operating system. It was like a really weird one. But yeah, that thing, we used to play Choplifter. And yeah, we had the floppy disk. And then we also had, that's whenever they had the combination of the really soft floppy disk and then the hard disks that would go in there. And then they started with the zip drives. And then next thing you know, they had these things called hard drives, which were basically just a bunch of small layers of those stacked on top of one another. Those things were garbage. You drop one of those things and, well, there goes everything. Yeah, and I remember the first hard drive I had, the actual first hard drive I had a big old 256 megabytes. That thing was huge. but you couldn't get anything more than that. Your Atari had more computer miles per hour than my Commodore 64. Yeah. Mac was the first user-friendly computer. Well, it was whenever it was a Mac. Yeah, that's what it was short for Macintosh. I'm pretty sure that's right. I don't know. It's been decades since I worked on those in high school computer lab, and we were required to take typing. It was something that they required for us to take. You had to take typing if you were taking computer class. Because everybody wanted to take computer class. They were all new, and you couldn't get your hands on them in any other way. So everybody wanted to take it. And so they said, okay, if you're going to take this, you also have to take typing. And it's just really weird. You had the typing class right next door to the computer class. But I'll tell you what, my typing got really good, and then I forgot how to do most of it. Like if you look at your keyboard, any keyboard, if you feel down, feel the F and the J, you'll feel that there's a little bump on there. That's to tell you where to put your fingers. Oh my God, my first hard drive was 10 megabits. Yeah. I mean, my old man worked on the computers that were on tapes, big giant tapes. Brother-in-law bought you a 24-inch CRT monitor. I thought it was great, but it was 3 foot long and weighed like 150 pounds. It wouldn't fit on your desk. So I told him I didn't want it. Yeah. Commodore 64. The Tandy. I remember the little Tandy one. I used to play what was it? Some star chasing game or something like that. Tandy. No, my old man had that. Yeah. Well, it was Macintosh to start out. Is that right? Macintosh. Not at the time. I think Macintosh was its own thing. And then they changed it over to Apple. But it was something like that. But that was what that big lawsuit was for Apple. Anyhow, so yeah, that's what's going on. I'm doing whatever I can to raise money to pay for that thing that was screaming earlier. It's calmed down. One of the schools I went to, the teachers kept having me work on the student computers. Yeah. Your dad worked on those real tape computers. They filled an entire room. Yeah. I mean, and before that, he worked on the punch cards. Yeah. Those were really cool. Now, if you don't know what those were, think about this. Just to do any sort of small program, which you would see, just we're not talking about like anything video related. We're just talking about ones and zeros. You had this stack of cards. It was in a little binder, about yay long and about yay tall, and there was these long cards, and you had to put these cards in order. 1 through 200, and you had to feed those cards in there just to do the program. And as you're dropping those little cards in there, they had little marks on it, and that's what it was reading: ones and zeros, on and off. That's what the 1 and 0 is. 1 is on, 1 on, 0 off. So 0 on, 1 off, something like that. Anyhow, so that's all it is, ones and zeros. You had to drop those little cards in. The only problem is if somebody misplaced it in the wrong thing, it would mess up the whole program. And how many times do you think those things got dropped? Oh, so they came up with better ways. But we're not talking about computers anymore. We are going to head out of here. Everybody have a wonderful night. Tomorrow night, I'll go over the rest of this. It is getting late, and I've got a long day tomorrow. Hopefully, my computer problems go away. It's been I think September was meant to be just a crappy month to test my patience. Last night, internet went out. Today, my hard drive, my video card is crapping out, and it seems a little fuzzy, but that could just be the processing of the interwebs. I don't know. Everybody have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow, and with that, I will see you. Peace.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzywhiznut's wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzywhiznut, start the show, let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzywhiznut, start the show, let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzywhiznut, start the show, let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm sending you guys over to